Story 1. Grandson calls from jail.
About twice a year for the past 7 years, I get a phone call from my grandson in jail. I don't have kids, so I started extending the conversation to waste the scammer's time and save the next person some grief. With one call, I asked him why he was breaking my heart because he promised me when I was sick in the hospital he was going to come back to Jesus and stop hanging out with those bad people. Jesus wanted him to not go to jail. Jesus could help him. He promised he'd go to church and be good for Jesus if I sent him $4,000. I told him I'd give Jesus the money and Jesus would get it to him then. With another call, I asked him why he ruined Christmas dinner by bringing that gold-digging tart that left his brother right before the wedding. He was never welcome in my home again. I never wanted to see either of them. He admitted he made a mistake, she was all wrong for him, and it was her fault he was in jail. Another call, I asked him if he told the police about what happened at the cabin. I explained that sometimes bad things happen, but it was in the past. We have to move on. And we didn't even know what his uncle did, and he couldn't help himself if something did happen. The last call, he asked for money and I reminded him he had stolen my car and my jewelry. I didn't have anything left other than my Beanie Baby collection that was going to be worth a fortune next year. I just needed to figure out to get them on the eBay.
Comment 1. I've already buried those 2 poor girls you killed last year. I can't keep doing this. You're going to have to stop. You should have plenty of money left from that bank job you pulled last year. Oh, see if you can find out where Bruno is. He was my favorite when I visited your dad in that very same jail. A few minutes alone with them and your dad was treated like a king. Maybe you can do that too.
Comment 2. My grandson called me when he rear-ended a pregnant woman in CT. I asked him which of the twins are you? I can't never tell you two apart. Grandson, which do you think? Me, well it could be Lloyd because Boyd has a lisp. Grandson, yes, it's Lloyd. My lawyer will call you with the details. I need $5,000 to post bail. 15 minutes later, the lawyer calls from VA number, your grandson Lloyd needs $5,000 to get out of jail. Me, that doesn't make any sense. Boyd and Lloyd were conjoined twins. Their parents sacrificed Lloyd so Boyd could live 15 years ago. Lloyd has been a vegetable in a nursing home ever since. How was he driving a car? Did someone put him behind a wheel and push him into the highway? This is very confusing to me. The lawyer hung up on me. I guess Lloyd will be rotting in jail or the nursing home. Whatever. Comment 3. My favorite was asking a female scammer why she was having sex with my husband and trying to break up our home. How my kids were crying, because he's leaving us, he says he loves you, etc., etc. All of this was done in front of my then 60+ years old husband. Fun memories.
Comment 4. Plot twist. This started off as a scammer trying to get money from you. Now it's just someone who calls because they're insanely curious about the next chapter in the good-for-nothing grandson's life. Comment 5. I got one of those calls. Grandpa, who is this? Don't you recognize my voice? Is it you, Ralph? I don't have a grandson, Ralph. Yes, it's me and I'm in jail. Can you send bail to me? Rot in jail, you idiot. Comment 6. You should agree to send him money. Get all his information as much as you can, and then report him. He's certainly trying this on others throughout the year, and probably succeeding in some cases. You can shut it down.
Story 2. Want me to wear more makeup? Big mistake. Huge.
I hope this counts. Last year I was casually seeing a guy for about 2/3 months. Now, without sounding conceited, I'm a pretty conventionally attractive woman. I tend not to wear any/much makeup or dress up as I genuinely dislike the attention and am lazy. Things had been going okay. I was super into him, but slowly started to realize he was never looking for anything more than casual. This came to a head one evening where he mentioned the fact that I should really be putting more effort in. Naively, I thought he meant into the relationship. Nope, he meant I should get dolled up more often, Also want to note that a lot was going on in my life, family and hospital, lost my job, needed to move. Makeup was the last of my worries. I also always looked put together, head meat with toothpaste on his top FGS. We worked together before and I never wore makeup then, so thought he liked me for me, lol. After discussing this with my friends, I realized this was the final straw. He was selfish in bed. I'd basically been acting as his therapist/mother and I didn't want a future with him anyway, lol. My flatmate is a hair and makeup artist. She blew out my naturally curly hair. She made me up so beautifully. I accessorized my long silk dress to make it a bit more casual. Wore heels for the first time in years, like 3, but still haha. Again, not wanting to brag, I was stopped in the street while armed to meet him for drinks. I felt gorgeous. He thought so too and was so full of compliments. If I was looking too hard into it, but he seemed kinda smug, too. Nah mate, this actually isn't working out. I think we want different things. Also, you should probably seek professional help. Enjoy your drink. I felt like Julia Roberts walking out of that bar. I didn't turn to look, but I like to picture him staring at me, speechless. Frick you, man-child.
Comment 1. I was imagining you were going to apply way too much makeup, like a toddler, and that would have been great, but your way was much better. Well done. Comment 2. Also want to add he tried to mew a couple times afterwards, saying he misses me. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Comment 3. Just came here to say women are amazing with that whole makeup thing. If you're beautiful as you say, makeup is like God mode, lol. I remember being sat next to a woman on a flight. She had no makeup on and she was nice looking. Didn't pay much attention. 30 minutes before we land, she goes to the bathroom and what returned was this goddess with everyone staring. The change was startling. I thought it was a different person. She saw my expression and said, "Yeah, I clean up well, lol." She explained she was a model and going straight to a shoot that was time-sensitive and wanted to do most of the makeup work to save time for the artists. She said she normally just have them do it. Comment 4. Big mistake. Huge.
Comment 5. Lovely petty story, OP. He got what he wanted, and then you were gone. Be comfortable being yourself. Comment 6. The level of respect I have for you is through the roof. I'm a grandma.
Story 3. Sure. I'll speak in my mother tongue.
Yesterday, I, 17F, was in the changing room with my classmates after PE, when they started ganging up on me about speaking English. We live in Slovenia, and I am Slovene, but I only came back to my country after living abroad, for 4 years, in 2023. Abroad, I attended a European school and spoke English basically always. All my classes were in English and a couple were in French. All that is to say, I speak fluent English, I think in English, I even dream in English. Sometimes, I even have to translate a sentence in my head or words with Google Translate, because I think first in English. I speak Slovenian in school. But their problem was apparently that often, when saying something out loud to myself or to the general public, I say it in English, because that's just how my brain is wired. I honestly don't even realize what language I've used until a couple seconds after I finish talking. Their argument was that I've been in Slovenia for a year and should switch back to Slovenian. It's not a problem of me not wanting to switch, is that at this time, this is impossible. They said that boys in our class are laughing at me when I speak English. True, but they've laughed at a chair before, so I'm not that worried. They didn't let me argue back or explain myself. One girl was even yelling at me about it, which, calm down, it ain't that deep, as someone told me. Her parents fought a lot before divorcing, so that apparently now excuses her actions. But then, they messed up and asked me what my mother tongue is. They obviously expected me to say Slovenian, so they could argue I should speak it. While yes, it is Slovenian, it's also French. I've lived abroad before, when I was very little, and growing up, I learned both languages at the same time. I even spoke mainly French up until I went to 1st grade. I still speak French with my mom, Although both my parents are Slovenian, it's so I don't lose the language. Say it's a loophole or well, actually, but I took the chance. I'm currently speaking to all of them in French. Funny enough, I don't even speak to them, but anything I say to myself or in their general direction, it's French. It's actually very fun and a nice way to not forget the language as I only have my mom to speak it with. I think I'll continue this until someone apologizes. Currently, I only speak non-French with two of my classmates, my best friend who was on my side, and a girl who has, I guess, apologized, and both don't mind me talking in English.
Comment 1. They said that boys in our class are laughing at me when I speak English. True, but they've laughed at a chair before, so I'm not that worried. This is hilarious, and good to learn when young. Excellent petty revenge.
Comment 2. Don't let them pressure you. Being multilingual is not just an accomplishment, it's also a gift that will serve you well the rest of your life. Don't lose any of your languages. I wish I was fluent in the 3 I loosely speak. Comment 3. They laugh at you for speaking a language they can't speak? No, friendo, they're laughing nervously, not at you, even if they pretend that's what they're doing. You are laughing at them, and they know it. If they really are trying to act like they're laughing at you for knowing a language they can't comprehend, they have no respect for themselves. But it seems like you already realize that, and I'm glad, smiley face.
Comment 4. Honestly, in my USA-centered brain who's only been out of the country like twice in my life, I didn't even think that this kind of problem was something that people dealt with in other places around the world all that much. I always see discourse from people abroad about how learning multiple languages is just part of basic education. But here in the US, it's always, you need to speak English, grrrrrrr, from people of certain mindsets. I fully endorse this level of petty. Heck, if you know and can reliably speak in 3 different languages, and your classmates are giving you grief for not speaking their language when you're not even talking to them, it is always nice to remind them that their lingual limitations are not your problem. Even if you were not fluent in Slovenian, the fact remains that you still know more languages than them overall. Also bonus points for the boys laugh at a chair remark.
Comment 5. They are jealous. You are obviously intelligent, traveled, and multilingual. You also appear to be self-confident. I bet it drives them crazy. Keep on being multi-talented, you.
Comment 6. I used to work with a guy who spoke at least 8 to 12 languages and most of them with near native ability. His favorite trick was sitting next to some women he was interested in and commenting, typically in broken English, that he found their language fascinating. He said he never heard it before but had a knack for learning new languages and wanted to try theirs. Of course, theirs was one of the languages he already knew. He would speak with them for a few minutes sounding like someone who really didn't know their language and quickly, but haltingly, pick up their language and pronunciation. In an hour, he'd be conversing like a native. He'd typically leave with one of them later.